Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Across the Pod NFL podcast. I am, as ever, your host today, Andy Davis, and we are here to preview Week 5 in the NFL. Now, with me, I've got a returning guest. He is our resident Panthers fan. Back on the show today is Keg. Keg, how are you?
Not the best. I'm coming down with something, as you can maybe tell by my voice. I've got a bit of a sore throat. I think I maybe coming down with some sort of cold or something. The throat's been sore for a couple of days, and I'm a Panthers fan, so yeah, could be better.
Yeah, we will try and keep it as short and snappy as possible to preserve your throat as long as possible.
No worries. Yeah, I'm all good. Yeah, we'll try and skip over the Panthers as quickly as possible. But yeah, other than that, I should be all right. That might make me feel a little bit more sick.
Well, I think we're both going to have similar sort of concerns. I think both of us are probably suffering a bit with maybe not the best start to the season. We had you on for the Panthers season preview, of course, and we'll get onto the Panthers game prediction later on. But 1-3 so far, it's not been quite what you maybe thought you'd have after what was end of last season, a positive end of the season. Bryce Young was looking good, and you had a lot of people, myself included, thinking this could be a dark horse to maybe push for the playoff spots. Hasn't worked out that way. Of course, did shut out the Falcons in your only win of the season so far. But apart from that, it's been pretty miserable to watch, I'm sure, for you as a Panthers fan.
Yeah, it has. It's had a lot of ups and downs, as most Panther seasons do, but typically they're mostly downs. Like there's been the odd few ups. Of course, the 30-0 shutout against the NFC rival, NFC South rival. So yeah, it's always good to beat the Falcons, whatever the scoreline, but to allow 0 and put up 30, yeah, that was absolutely amazing. Yeah, that was a great performance. And I think the defense really showed up. I think that was a more defense and special teams performance than anything, to be honest. Like the quarterback's always the one that gets the accolades when you win, and he's often the villain when we lose. So yeah, a lot of emphasis has been on Bryce Young this season. He's been put the blame on when we lose. When we won, it wasn't like Bryce just managed the game. He was okay, but yeah, defense and special teams won that game. Offense just, like I say, managed and just came along. Defense was okay against the Cardinals from sort of mid third quarter onwards. Like between, I think it was like with 9 to 10 minutes left, so almost the full third quarter through to the Cardinals game in week 2, right through 4 quarters against the Falcons, we outscored our opposition by like 49 points to 0. So with almost 2 full quarters left against the Cardinals. Yeah, I think we conceded 1. Yeah, I think James Conner scored 1 touchdown in the third quarter quite early on. And then, yeah, for almost 6 full quarters, we kept teams out and we scored 49 points. And so we were thinking, this is it. Like, defense was actually starting to show up. The run defense, which I think I probably spoke to you in the summer about, was our biggest problem last year. It suffered against Jacksonville in week 1 and the first half against the Cardinals. But yeah, came through in them 6 quarters, was absolutely phenomenal. Like, this was like looking up, like, this is it. This is going to be the kick on. Like, this is where teams are actually going to start taking us seriously now. And Bryce doesn't need to play great. He just needs to manage, and we just need to do enough on offense. And then, yeah, everything just went wrong against the Patriots. Like defense and special teams. I mean, special teams was the worst. They played so well against Atlanta. And then, yeah, just everything went wrong against New England. Like, we basically beat ourselves. Like, you can look at New England and say they scored 42 points, but like I said, their offense just had to manage. Like, they didn't have to do much. They weren't great. We really beat ourselves. It was an awful performance. That's basically been the story of it. Like, most of it's been awful. There's been some shimmers of bright light. Injuries haven't helped. We've had quite a few key guys go out. Some people haven't stepped up, some have, and it's just been some take, some give, and yeah, it's just still early doors, still only 4 games in, but yeah, by this point, you'd like to start thinking that we're going to build some momentum. That's why we thought that the Atlanta game was going to be that. And then, New England just kind of put us back down. So I don't know where we're at. Who knows what we're going to get against Miami? Who knows what we're going to get after this? Like, it's just, you just got to take the Panthers week by week. Like, you've no idea what you're going to get.
Well, speaking of which, actually, I don't know whether you've seen the stat that's going around about Bryce Young's record against the Falcons compared to the rest of the NFL. Have you seen this at all on Twitter?
I believe I have. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen the exact same one, but I know he's got a pretty good record against Atlanta. Yeah, it's probably his favorite team. I've also seen one that shows that he's statistically got the worst away record of any quarterback in the NFL, like his win percentage on the road. He's won 1 and lost 15. That one road win was against the Falcons in Week 18 last year, the last game of the season where we beat them in overtime. So, I mean, if there's a team to beat, it's going to be the Falcons. It's one of our bitter rivals and obviously a divisional rival as well. So, if you're gonna show up against anyone, it might as well be Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, this tweet I saw from post the Falcons win, it said he had a 3-1 record against the Falcons, but a 7-26 record against the rest of the league. I mean, it's now gone to 7-27 because this was before the Patriots game. So, it's amazing how it's even like Tua until week 2 hadn't lost to the Patriots. He was 7-0 against the Patriots, but then put him against a lot. His actual record is pretty good in terms of wins and losses. But you think about his record against teams with a 500 or more record and teams with winning records. It just, it's a stark contrast. But no, I think Bryce Young had a similar thing last year. He was written off, and then he found a little bit of a spark that got him, to perform better. And I think, the benching of him made him improve when he came back in the lineup. And I do think McMillan has been a bright spark, I think, in terms of someone for him to throw to. I do believe that, the more he plays, the more connection I'll have. And I think, that's got to be one positive as a Panthers fan, the fact that, he's only a rookie, but he's already looking good and he's only going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think after 2 weeks, he already broke like the rookie Panthers record, like the franchise record for reception yards, like for a rookie in franchise history. After 2 weeks, I think he's just been overtaken by Emeka Egbuka for rookie receiving yards. So he's up there with some of the best rookie receivers or pass catchers in the league at the minute. But he's just a beast. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's everything that we could have hoped for and more. He had a little bit of criticism after the Patriots game. I think there was some drops, and I think he probably knows maybe he could have done better. Maybe Bryce was trying to force him the ball a little bit too much. Maybe there was some drops where he wasn't really going to catch them anyway, or they wouldn't have really amounted to many like yards after catch either. But like some of these, like I know he's still a rookie. Like we can criticize rookies. Yeah, I mean rookies are going to make mistakes, and like that's probably one of the best things about T-Mac is that he is still slightly raw. And I feel like he's just going to learn and he's going to grow. He's going to get more experience and he's just going to be better. And what that end product could be, my God, he could be one of the top 5 receivers in the league once he hits his full potential. Because I say the way that he's playing now, and he's still quite fresh, like Jesus Christ, like he's going to be an absolute animal. Like some of his highlight reels, like his jumping ability, like getting up in the air and bringing down some contested catches. Like I learned after the Falcons game, I think it was, that he used to play volleyball, and that's one of the reasons for his strong jumps. Like I think there was one. It's quite a short yardage play as well. Like it didn't really go too far, but it went for a first down, and he just went up into the air, and it just looked like he was flying. Like he's a Michael Jordan sponsorship. He's a jump man. Like. He is a jump man. Like, I mean, when he gets off the ground, like, it's like, when is he going to come back down? Like some of his jumps, and I think some of that's inspired from volleyball, like jumping up at the net. Like, but when he gets up, man, my God Almighty, like he can reach some heights.
Yeah, you see this. I think a lot of sportsmen you see have these sort of stories where they play a different sport, and you can't help thinking that does help you when it comes to being a pro athlete in the NFL. I mean, we've seen players talking about how these days people aren't in high school as much doing multiple sports. They seem to be focusing more on the one sport. But you can't help thinking that would help you. You think about Kyler Murray's sliding ability
Yeah.
from playing baseball, that's helped him with that. And I think, obviously not expecting you to play, multiple sports until you're 21 or you're 18, but certainly until the age of like 15, if you've got experience in playing, for example, volleyball with Macmillan or experience playing whatever sport it is, badminton in terms of your reflexes, you can't help thinking out a corner, or safety would benefit from having badminton. If you think about some of the shots you have, you've got to really reach back and hit your shot. That's got to help with catching balls like that. So I think if I was certainly a parent of a child who had some sort of promise as an athlete, I would certainly say do multiple sports, get you out and about. It builds your teamwork up as well, or ability to handle certain situations. Yeah, I kind of think every athlete in school should be doing multiple. And this comes whether it's the UK, whether it's Germany, the US, Brazil. I think you have to have multiple sports experience because that's got to help you as an athlete when you're eventually playing pro in whatever sport you play.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I think baseball is quite a common one, and I think Patrick Mahomes did, and Russell Wilson did, and as you mentioned, Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray was the first player to be drafted in the first round of both the NFL and MLB draft. And I know Russell Wilson was drafted as well in the MLB. But yeah, like that, like pitching ability, like the fastball, like the arm, like movements and stuff. Like like the help with that throw in motion. And yeah, like I know like a lot of players, like a lot of receivers, DBs. I think even a few tight ends played basketball. Maybe it's even a few like. I think maybe it's tight ends, maybe it's those maybe slightly too heavy to make it as basketball players. That they've adapted to tight ends. In fact, we had one in training camp. I can't even remember. I think he played in the NCAA last year. He was an undrafted rookie, and we had him in training camp. And there was a lot of buzz about him because he was like 6'9". He was a big kid, and he was pretty good in the NCAA in basketball in college. So yeah, we give him a tryout, and there was a lot of hype about him. There was a lot of there was some stories about him because his story was quite interesting. But yeah, didn't make it too far in training camp before getting released. But yeah, like that, there is that cross sports, that physicality, the athleticism. I know Julius Peppers, one of our best ever players. He played for North Carolina in college as well as football as well. So was he the second overall pick in the NFL draft? But he was a really highly talented basketball player at North Carolina for the Tar Heels as well. So yeah, there's many players, and I think you're right. It does help when you've got even just the mentality, the team's work, like the sportsmanship, just crossing over a few sports. Yeah, mentally and physically, it's certainly can't harm.
Absolutely. Well, let's head into our week 5 predictions. The usual process, we'll go through each game and predict each game winner. And of course, we had in week 4, David Caproche. He came on and he tried to beat me in our part of the show called Andy versus the Guest. So, yeah, of course, David came on last week. We did predict all the winners. Now, we both went for wins quite rightly for the Bills, for the Lions. Both wrongly went for the Chargers to beat the Giants. We both went for the Rams to beat the Colts and Packers to beat the Cowboys. Of course, we all know how that went. But we also went for different scores in some games, which ended up causing the difference between who won and who lost. So in the end, I got 10 correct scores and David got 9. So that means after week 4, it is 2-1 to me in Andy versus the Guest. This includes, for example, I went for the Buccaneers over the Eagles, and also I actually went for the Panthers to beat the Patriots, but I went for wins for the Falcons over the Commanders, went for a win for the Steelers over the Vikings. David went for the Vikings and Commanders to win. I went for the Jags to beat the Niners. David went for the Niners. And also I went for the Bears to beat the Raiders. And crucially, David went for the Raiders to beat the Bears. So in the end, that's what's caused the difference. It means that I get going 2-1 into week 5. Now, Keg, you've got the responsibility of trying to level the scoreline between Andy versus the Guest in this year's season preview or game preview episodes.
All right, sweet. Yeah, looking forward to getting to it. And that was a really good shout as well, to be fair, for the Falcons to beat the Commanders. After, say, the Panthers are a bit shit, let's be honest. And we beat the Falcons 30-0. So for you to predict that the Falcons would come out and beat the Commanders, I know they didn't have Jaden Daniels, but that was a bit of a bold prediction. I wouldn't have done that. I would have picked the Commanders. So yeah, credit for you for that prediction there. That was a good pick.
Well, first off, we're going to Thursday Night Football, a game that is starting in literally about 3 hours' time of recording. It is the 49ers travelling to the Rams. I'm going for the Rams to win this game. I just think that even if everyone was fully healthy, I would still back the Rams. But with all the injuries that's happening in the 49ers, I think the Rams win this somewhat comfortably.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going with the Rams as well. Yeah, like they beat the Colts last week, who have started the season really well. And yeah, it was quite comfortable. No, like the Rams have started the season really, really well. I'm actually really impressed with them. And yeah, the 49ers, I am a fan of. Like I always have been a fan of the 49ers, but they just have such bad luck with injuries. Like I don't know if Christian McCaffrey's took that curse over there, but yeah, with Bosa getting injured, and Purdy and everyone else. Like, I think, is Kittle back yet? I know Kittle missed the first week or two. I don't know if Kittle's back yet, but yeah, it's been a rough season so far for the 49ers, but they're still 3-1. Like, it's not terrible. But yeah, going into this game with the injuries that they've got, with the Rams playing so well at the Rams Stadium as well, Rams have got home field advantage. So yeah, I'm going with the Rams win as well.
So next up is our London game, our first of 3 London games, the game that I will be attending as the Cleveland Browns host the Minnesota Vikings at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Keg, who wins this for you?
Yeah, easy one for me. This one, Vikings. Yeah, I've got to go Vikings. Yeah, Browns. Nah, like even the Browns are listed as the home team, but obviously it's neutral venue, so you don't really get that home field advantage. But great win against the Packers a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, things came to where they should be against the Lions last week, and yeah, they got battered. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel starting week 1, so rookie quarterback first start in the NFL. So it's going to be growing pains. There's going to be something different. Maybe he'll help. I don't know if he'll be much better than the veteran in Joe Flacco. But yeah, the Vikings are a decent team. I think they've started somewhat difficultly as well with McCarthy getting injured as well so early after being out for all of last year. Lost to Aaron Rodgers Steelers last week. But yeah, so they've been a little bit disappointing. Defense, they've been absolutely outstanding. Like, yeah, I think they've offenses chugged and stuttered a little bit, but they've got started with a first-time quarterback in McCarthy. Like I say, he's spent his rookie year out. So this is essentially his rookie year, first year actually starting in the league, and then got another injury. So he's gone out. So yeah, there's been a little bit of indifference in the offense, but that defense has been absolutely superb. So yeah, I think they'll definitely have more than enough to beat the Browns.
I'm going for the shock. I'm going for the Browns to win.
Going for
now,
it.
There is obviously that argument to be made that the Vikings have had a whole week in the UK, well, a whole week and a bit. They've been in Dublin, then they've been in London. And I think the Browns, for me, the defense is the reason why. Now, of course, equally, the Vikings defense has been really good. Isaiah Rodgers has been amazing so far this year. But I think there's that one factor of a new quarterback bounce. We saw Jackson Dart have it on the weekend. We see Drew Lock have it years ago with the Broncos. But I think for me, the Browns have struggled against good quarterbacks. They struggled against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They struggled against Jared Goff and the Lions. But from what I saw from Carson Wentz in that last game against the Steelers, it was pretty bad. And I just think that it's going to be probably a low-scoring affair. Both teams' defense sort of being the stars of the show. I think it'll be like a Myles Garrett and Isaiah Rodgers sort of battling out for who has the star of the game. But I just feel like it is a neutral venue. I know they're a home team, but it's a neutral venue. There'll be probably more Vikings fans and Browns fans, but I don't know. Maybe there is more Browns fans in the UK going to this game. But I just think that this is the game for Myles Garrett to stand out. This is the game for him to get to Carson Wentz, who, yes, he won against Bengals, but if you're getting the ball fed back to you every 5 or 6 plays, you're going to, look better and do well. So I think for me, I'm not convinced by Carson Wentz. I think Gabriel, not much tape on him for defenses to look at. And I think the Browns are going to shock the UK and get the win in Tottenham.
All right. Yeah, bold prediction. I like it.
Let's move on to the 6 p.m. slate on Sunday. Of course, there are bye weeks for the likes of the Falcons, the Bears, the Packers, and the Steelers. But first up, our first game at 6 p.m. is the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Houston Texans. Lamar Jackson injured for this game, as far as I'm aware. I've not seen anything different that's going to change that. And I think for that reason, I think the Texans might win. Texans have been shocking. They've been really bad. I've not been convinced at all by this offensive line, as we haven't been, of course, all of last season as well, hasn't been great. But it looks like it'll be Cooper Rush starting for the Ravens over Lamar Jackson. So I think with that as well, and the Ravens got a lot of injuries. Madubuike out for the season. There's been a lot of problems for this Ravens team overall, and I think the Texans will get the win in Baltimore. Keg, do you agree, or are you going for the Ravens?
You know what it is? You might have changed my mind because I did write some down, and I did go for the Ravens. But yeah, I'm not impressed by either of these teams so far. Like, I think on paper the Ravens should be one of the best teams in the NFL. Like, I think for the past 4 or 5 years they've been threatening to go to the Super Bowl or at least the championship game, like with Lamar Jackson, and yeah, they've been building a phenomenal team. So yeah, they should be one of the stronger teams in the NFL with your likes of like the Lions and the Bills. But this season just hasn't quite clicked for them yet. I know they got beat by the Chiefs last week. Like, obviously that's a tough game. So yeah, I was gonna go for the Ravens because I really haven't been impressed with the Texans. Like I said, that offensive line and everything just hasn't gone well for them. They got their one win, but that was a shutout win, so credit to that. But yeah, they beat the Titans, who have been really poor, so that's not really overly impressive. You know what I mean? Like, we beat the Falcons by more. I think theirs was like 20-something-0. I can't actually remember what the score was. Yeah, we beat the Falcons 30-0 and then got beat 42-13 the week afterwards. So yeah, that means absolutely nothing for me. So yeah, I was leaning towards the Ravens. But yeah, I wasn't sure what the injury status was on Lamar Jackson. So I could maybe put a pin in this one. And if Jackson plays, I'll go with the Ravens. If he doesn't, then I'll go with the Texans. I think it's that simple. I think Jackson will be the difference maker. So yeah, if we're sat here right now and Jackson is ruled out, Cooper Rush is the starter, I'll go with the Texans.
Fair play. Moving on to our next game, which is the Colts hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Keg, who wins this for you?
I've got Colts. Yeah, been impressed with them this season. I think they've done really, really well. And the Raiders, opposite. Yeah, not so good. So yeah, it's a good team against a poor team as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, only one winner here for me, and that's the Colts.
Yeah, I've gone for the same. I mean, Ashton Jeanty had a great breakout performance against the Bears last time out, but they still lost. Geno Smith has been awful this season. I think it's been really bad, interception after interception, and I think whilst the Colts did struggle a little bit against the Rams are a good team. They're one of my favourites to win the NFC. So I think there's no shame in losing to the Rams. So I think this Colts team for me is miles better, and give me them to win. Next up is a bit of a stinker. It's the New York Giants traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. I'm going to go for the Giants. I think the Jackson Dart hype will keep rolling. I think that defense alone could even win in this game for the Giants. And I think the Saints have been better than advertised. I'm still not convinced, and I think they're still a pretty poor team. So give me the Giants over the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going with the same. Saints, as much as I'd love to shit on them, that 0-4 and hilarious, ha, enjoy. But yeah, you know what it is? I think in each of them games, it's been pretty close. I mean, I think everyone could have written that they were going to be one of, if not the worst team in the league coming into the season with their roster, with the lack of assurance at quarterback. Didn't know if it was going to be Tyler Shock or Spencer Rattler. That's the fella. I think everyone expected them to be bad, but while they're 0-4, I don't think they're that bad. I think they're close to getting the first win. I think they'll tip some team over the edge, and it'll probably be us. They'll probably get the first win against us whenever that game is. But yeah, again, the Giants have been pretty poor to start the season. Yeah, like I say, got Jackson Dart now, and there's a bit of hype. Scatterbo's started to come in really good after a slow start to his rookie year as well in the first few weeks. And a really impressive win against the Chargers. Like, I'm honestly a really big fan of the Chargers. And to put a beat on them last year, get the first win. I think Brian Burns might be leading the league in sacks at the minute. It's a shame about Malik Neighbors. I think that's a really, really big loss. That's such a shame when the maybe's just starting to get some momentum with Jackson Dart now. Having a number one receiver out is a really, really big kick in the teeth for Jackson Dart. But yeah, I think they're an okay team, the Giants. And yeah, the Saints are pretty poor. So yeah, I think the Giants should keep up on that momentum after beating a good team like the Chargers and take away a W against the Saints.
Well, sticking with you, Keg, we've got the next game in New Jersey as the Jets host the Dallas Cowboys. Who wins this for you?
I'll go with the Cowboys. Yeah, I think just the Jets suck. Like, yeah, it's just another bad team against a relatively decent team. The Cowboys are another team on paper that should be better than what they are. I think they've started really poorly. Yeah, got a decent tie against the Packers last week. So that puts them 1 win, 2 losses, and 1 tie. I mean, for a team like the Cowboys, it's not a great start. But yeah, when they're coming up against a team like the Jets, yeah, I think they've got to take that win here.
Well, next up, for me as well, it is the Cowboys as well. I just think, the Cowboys have been way better than I think we all thought they'd be. And I think they've had 2 games go to overtime. They've been exciting to watch, for a neutral, put up a lot of points, also allowed a lot of points. But I think against this Jets team, who I think could have won that game against us on Monday Night Football, but I just think they shot themselves in the foot too much. A lot of penalties, a lot of issues they just caused for themselves. So I think they could, on any given Sunday, they could cause the Cowboys some problems. But I'm backing this Cowboys team, to get the job done and beat them. Now, next up is a game which is the reason why you're on this podcast today. It is the Carolina Panthers taking on the Miami Dolphins. Keg, as you're the guest, I'll let you go first. Who wins this for you?
I'm gonna be optimistic and stupid, and obviously back my guys. I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I think it's gonna be a close game. I mean, I think either team can win it, maybe by a few points, like 3 points, maybe. I think both teams have started really poorly. Neither one of them is really setting the NFL alight right now, so I don't really think there'll be a clear-cut winner. So either team can win it by a single score. I'm taking us just because I think we're at home and we've only played 1 home game so far this season. Through the first 4 weeks, 3 of them have been on the road. And that 1 home game was the Falcons game where we beat them 30-0. Obviously Dolphins are trying to deal with losing Tyreek Hill, obviously. I think we're both not really miles favorites for this game. I don't really think, like, maybe the Dolphins probably are gonna be the favorites, but yeah, I think it's just going to be a really close game. And I'm just going to give us that home field advantage.
Fair enough. I don't blame you at all. I think I can definitely see both teams winning, but I'm going for the Dolphins to win this game. I just feel like even though we've lost some games against the Patriots and the Bills, I think we gave a good, certainly on offense, gave a good account of ourselves. And I do feel like, we lost to the Bills, lost to the Patriots, but we put up, 20, 30 points in both those games. So that is why I have faith in us getting the job done. Now, defensively wise, I think, that will be our biggest problem in this game. But if I'm honest, I don't have much. Apart from McMillan, I'm not too scared of this Panthers offense. So I'm going to go for the Dolphins to win this game. But again, I wouldn't be shocked if we lose.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. Like our offense isn't scary. Like I say, that 1 win that we had, that can be accredited to both the defense and special teams. Like Bryce and the offense, just, like I say, the managed, they ticked along, they've done what needed to be done the bare minimum to not make any mistakes. And I think that's the thing with the Panthers. Like, we have to be perfect to be within a chance of winning. Like, I think we aren't good enough to recover from mistakes. Like, once we're 1 or 2 turnovers done, like, that's it. Like, if you turn us over twice, you've won. That's it. Just blow the whistle. Like, we can't recover from that. Like, as long as you're going to put at least a field goal on the board, if you're going to turn our turnover into points, like, we just don't put up that many points. Like I said, the defense has been hit and miss this season. Maybe our defense can give your offense a good matchup. And then, our offense against your defense, it's going to be a pretty poor matchup. Like I said, one of them's really doing too well for our respective teams compared to the other units. It's going to be difficult. And losing to the Bills, there's no shame in that. Put up a good performance, do well, fight, have some pride, great. That's a moral victory as far as I'm concerned, because the Bills are a great team. So yeah, as long as you came close, you done well. Yeah, you can leave with your head held high.
Absolutely. Speaking of the Bills, a team they could be facing in the Super Bowl this year, in the Philadelphia Eagles, the only other 4-0 team, they host the Denver Broncos in I think, a really interesting matchup. This Broncos defense, how are they going to cope against this tush push and against this Eagles offense? I'm going for the Eagles to win. They're at home as well, and I think the Broncos offense doesn't give me as much confidence against this Eagles defense for me as the Eagles offense against this Broncos defense. So I'm going to go for the Eagles to win and move to 5-0. Keg, do you agree, or are you going for the Broncos road victory?
Yeah, I reflect everything that you just said there. Basically, yeah, I think Eagles at home as well, hostile place to be. Yeah, they're a tough team. 4-0 Broncos. Yeah, just whatever you just said. Yeah, I completely agree with what it was, and yeah, got to go with the Eagles as well.
Well, let's move on to the latest slate, starting at 9:05 with the Cardinals hosting the Titans and the Seahawks hosting the Buccaneers. I'm going for wins for the Cardinals and the Seahawks, and the Buccaneers. The Titans have been really bad. I thought Cam Ward and this Titans offense could, cause some problems. They could be, get to 6 wins and just, be better than advertised. But Cam Ward is not really down to his fault, really. I think he's got a really poor supporting cast. The O-line has been dreadful trying to protect him. Now, there was a miss roughing the passer call early on in the game against the Texans. That could have changed potentially the narrative of that game or how it went. But yeah, they've been absolutely terrible. And the Cardinals have been up and down. Of course, they lost to the Seahawks, but ran that close. And I just think against this Titans team, they've got an easy chance to win. And then in terms of the Buccaneers Seahawks, I think for me, the hardest one to predict of the entire week, I think this is a really, really interesting game. Really tough one to predict. It's in Seattle, but I'm going to go for the Buccaneers to win because I just feel like there's just slightly more. It's not much difference, but I think that obviously receiver-wise, it's pretty much, just in favour of the Seahawks, but I back Baker more than Darnold, and I think the defense are very similar. So I think it's a really close game to call, and I think this is the one I probably am, most likely to get wrong. I could definitely see it going the Seahawks' way as well, especially in Lumen Field in Seattle. But I'm going to go for the Buccaneers. Keg, for those 2 games, who have you got winning?
So I'm going to match the Cardinals as well. I agree with the Titans. I think Cam Ward's looked pretty good, to be honest, but I expect more from them as well. And I still feel like they could maybe kick on, like maybe it's when they get a little bit more experience and get a bit used to each other. Maybe they can do something by the end of the season and get a few wins. I don't think they're that bad, but they have shown as a whole, as a team, they have been pretty poor these first 4 weeks. And you can see why they're 0-4. It's not really much down to Cam Ward's fault, kind of like Bryce in 2023 when he was at the Panthers as a rookie. Awful O-line. Not really much is helping out. The weapons aren't really helping out. Like the coaching maybe is to be questioned as well. Feel sorry for Cam Ward. He's doing his best out there, but it's just not quite enough. And the Cardinals are quite a mid team. Like they're 2-2. Lost to the Seahawks last week. Narrowly beat us after having such a vast lead. We scored 19 unanswered points against them later on to try and spark a comeback that we fell just short of. They're a okay team, pretty average, gonna be good for 7 to 8 wins probably. And this will be one against a poor 0-4 Titans team. And you're right about the Seahawks Broncos game. Like this could be a flip of a coin. I think this probably is one of the more evenly matched matchups this week. The tale of the 2022 Carolina Panthers quarterbacks, Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, both on the same roster at the same time, but neither one of them were good enough, apparently. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I'm going to go with their 12th man at home. But like I said, it could be either way. They got the win against the Cardinals last week. Buccaneers are good. I think they're both good teams. Like they're not amazing. Like they're not fantastic or anything. I think against a different opposition, you could fancy one or the other in opposite way. Both 3-1, so both quite evenly matched so far this season. So yeah, very close, very even matchup. But yeah, I'm going to give it to the 12th man.
It must sicken you a little bit to see both Darnold and Baker Mayfield just absolutely thriving since playing for the Panthers, but not for the Panthers.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, especially when you see like people keep putting pictures of them both together on the same roster in 2022. Like, I think Baker was brought in to compete with Darnold, who wasn't so good in 2021. I think Darnold got like a high ankle sprain at the beginning of the season, missed like the first 8 games. So Baker won the job by default, although I think he was traded in to get the number 1 job anyway. Sam Darnold was going to be his backup. But yeah, it was awful. I think that was the year that Matt Rule was fired after like 5 games. Yeah, Baker didn't look great. He ended up getting released and then ended up with the Rams. Donald came back, and Donald actually ended the season really well. But yeah, it's just situational. Like people keep calling for Bryce Young to get fired, released, traded, whatever. I keep seeing a million mock drafts of 2026 where we're going for Lenora Sellers or Arch Manning or Garrett Nussmeier or one of the potential draftees of next year. But I just feel like if you took Bryce out and put in another rookie, it would be Bryce 2.0. Like it's a organizational problem. It ain't the quarterback. Like I say, Sam Darnold couldn't do it. Baker Mayfield couldn't do it. Teddy Bridgewater couldn't do it. Cam 2.0 couldn't do it. Like it's not the quarterback. Like Bryce has made some mistakes. He's not perfect. Some of his decision making definitely questionable, but it's the surrounding cast, it's the coaching, it's the offense, it's the defense as well. Like them not holding up on their end of the bargain. Like we are just a bad football team. It is not the quarterback. So yeah, I know why Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield didn't succeed in Carolina, and their decisions at the time to move on from them probably was right. But yeah, in hindsight, you would have just liked to maybe stick it out just a little bit longer. Like get the O-line like we've pretty much got now, the one that we had last season with Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. Give like say if it was Sam Darnold, give him Tetairoa McMillan, give him Chuba Hubbard. Like it could have worked out if we just had that patience, but we didn't. So yeah, if we went in another direction, it would just be the same situation. And I can guarantee you, I'd put money on it right here, right now. If Bryce Young went somewhere else, he'd move into that sort of top 15, top 10 to 15 category in the NFL. He would strive in the NFL if he didn't play for the Panthers.
Yeah, that is, I kind of agree with all that, if I'm honest. Moving on to the other part of the 9 p.m. slate, we've got 2 games at 9:25. We've got the Bengals hosting the Lions, and we've got the Chargers hosting the Commanders. Keg, on those 2 games, who wins it for you?
Was that the Lions first? Did you say Lions, Bengals?
Yeah.
Is that what we said? Yeah, Lions all day long. Yeah, Lions absolutely all day long. Could be a bloodbath. Could be 42-6. I'm going to go with a big scoreline there. And I would just like to say that I genuinely think Joe Burrow is probably the best quarterback, not quarterback, player in the NFL. Like the difference in the Bengals when he plays and when he doesn't, it's day and night. Like it's actually ridiculous. Like even last year, like he was in MVP contention and they didn't even make the playoffs. Like they started poorly. He was just that good. Like statistically, he probably was the best, but like defense sucked. Everything else was just terrible. And like, yeah, this season they started 2-0. He goes out. They're now 2-2. Like the difference that even with like Jamar Chases and T. Higgins, it doesn't make a difference. Like Joe Burrow makes that difference. It's just ridiculous how good they are with him and how bad they are without him. And yeah, the Lions are a phenomenal team. So yeah, Joe Burrowless Bengals are going to get absolutely battered by the Lions. And I'm in a similar way, I'm going to go with the Chargers to bounce back off of their defeat to the Giants last week, playing the Commanders. Not sure what Jaden Daniels' status is at the moment. I'm not sure. I think he might be back in training today. But they're the same. Like when Mariota comes in and it's not Jaden Daniels, they look different. Like they just don't run the same. Like Jaden Daniels is a very underrated quarterback. And yeah, the Commanders are such a better team when he's playing. So yeah, with Daniels or without, I still do like the Chargers. I think last week against the Giants was a blip, so I think they'll get right this week.
Yeah, I agree with both your predictions. I think this is going to be a horrendous day for the Bengals. I do believe that it's, I think even if Burrow was healthy, this could be one of the games of the year. I think both teams would have been great on offense. I think they could have caused the Lions some problems on defense. But yeah, without him, it's been awful with Jake Browning there. So yeah, I think the Lions win this really convincingly. I think they've been, if you take away week one against the Packers, I think they've been really good the rest of the year. So I think they'll be one of the top teams again in the NFC seedings come week 18 in the playoffs. And then the other game, yeah, I've gone for the Chargers to win. Looking at Daniel's update on his injury, it says that he practiced fully on Thursday, but it's still questionable in terms of Sunday. And the same goes for Terry McLaurin. So they've got their quarterback and their top receiver, both questionable for this game. I don't see any chance that they beat the Chargers with Mariota and whoever their top receiver is to throw to otherwise. So give me the Chargers to win that one, and give me the Bills to beat the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. The Bills will be sporting their rivalries jersey, which is, for me, the best out of the whole league. So I think they're trying to tell fans as well to wear all white in the stands. So we should be getting a blizzard feel to Highmark Stadium in this game. Patriots haven't been great. I think they're 2-2, but I think, from what I saw in the Dolphins game, what I saw in the Raiders game, and what I saw in week 3, I've not been that impressed with this Patriots team. But I think there's still a bit of teething problems, new head coach, new system. I think the Bills, for me, they're not losing a single game at Highmark, maybe except for the Eagles game this year. So I think the Bills are destined for that number 1 seed in the AFC, and I think they win this somewhat comfortably, a bit like the other game we talked about, the other division game. I think that was the Rams 49ers. So I think it'll be a comfortable win, but I think the Patriots may, due to being a division game, may make it closer than maybe we thought it might be. Keg, do you agree, or are you going for the shock and the Patriots win?
Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, it's got to be the Bills. Yeah, already 4-0, looking really, really good. And yeah, like the Patriots are very hitty missy, as I said before. They put 42 on us, but like I said, we beat ourselves. Like our defense and special teams crumbling. Like I say, offense wasn't terrible, but wasn't great. Like our mistakes led to that on paper battering 42 points to 13. Embarrassing result on our part. But yeah, it was all of our own doing. The Patriots didn't have to be great. With that being said, I am a very big Drake May fan. I do really, really like Drake May. But yeah, it's just not there yet as a team. I think a lot more needs to go right for them to look better. I think they've got a good defensive line. And I like Christian Gonzalez. That's about it. Like, yeah, they're not a great run team. There might still be a little bit of teething problems with Mike Vrabel coming in and putting his own stamp on things. So it's only 4 weeks in, and they're 2-2, so it's not terrible. But yeah, coming up against the Bills team, yeah, it's just and at home as well. Yeah, at Highmark, yeah, it's got to be a Bills win easy.
So then finally, we've got Monday Night Football, and it's in Jacksonville as the Jaguars host the Kansas City Chiefs. Keg, for the final time, who wins this game for you?
This is probably a harder one on paper than it should be. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, although they're the 2-2 team coming in against a 3-1 Jags team. Jags beat the Panthers in week 1, 49ers last week. But I'm just not sure. I think the Jags are another team who's maybe good for around about 7-8 wins, 9 at best. Like maybe they're on that trajectory for 9 wins. Maybe it's going to be a good year for them. And I would call 9 wins a good year for them because I don't think they're quite that good. But yeah, with this small sample size, yeah, they've looked fine. While the Chiefs have underachieved, but we know what the Chiefs can be. Like if the Chiefs pull it out, they can beat anybody on their day. This is a really, really tough one. It's in Jacksonville as well. The Chiefs are the traveling team. I think on paper you would say a Chiefs win easily, but yeah, when you're looking at it, it's not that easy. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go with my head on this one and go Chiefs.
Okay, there we are. Well, I've gone for the Chiefs as well. I think the Chiefs are back. I think whilst I'm hesitant to say that with, how bad this Ravens defense has been in their game, especially in their game last week, but I'm also hesitant to write them off. And I think with the Chargers losing against the Giants, it's now only a 1-game difference. It could have been 2 games difference if it'd gone that way. So for me, I just think the Chiefs, don't write them off, even though it's in Jacksonville. I just think I saw a lot of signs in the game against Baltimore that they are somewhat back to their best. Mahomes finding different receivers, a lot of people that aren't necessarily world beaters. Think of Thornton, Juju Smith-Schuster. So for me, I think the Chiefs will get this win. They'll go to 3-2, and the early problems maybe for now evaporated. But there we are. That is the end of the episode. That's all our predictions done. So we've both gone for wins for the Rams, Texans. Although if Jackson plays, we've gone for different scorelines. The Colts, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Cardinals, the Lions, the Chargers, as well as wins for the Bills and the Chiefs. Whereas I went for a win for the Buccaneers. Keg went for the Seahawks. Keg went for the Panthers over my Dolphins. I went for my Dolphins over his Panthers. And also then in London, I went for a win for the Browns, and Keg went for a win for the Vikings. So there we are. First of all, Keg, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a trooper and surviving your illness and managing the whole episode.
Yeah, thank you very much. It has been a struggle. I'm going to go and take some Lemsip and go to bed now. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on. It's always a pleasure. Cheers.
Well, no problem at all. And for those listening or watching to the episode, enjoy London if you are going to the Browns-Vikings game. And of course, if you want to be on a video on the podcast socials, come find me outside the stadium and we can get you on camera. But in the meantime, this has been the Across the Pod NFL podcast. I have been, as ever, your host today, Andy Davis, and we'll see you guys next time.